You have asked for it, so here it is. This is by far the most comprehensive guide, for men at least, on Dark Academia on YouTube. By the end of this video, you will not only look, but also live Dark Academia. And be sure to stick around until the very end, because I have an extra bonus, actionable step that you can implement right away. Step number 0 is setting up the right atmosphere. Now, I don't want you to redecorate your whole room or borrow an armchair from your grandma. No, you only have to do 3 simple things. First of all, I want you to get out some candles and light them up. Dim lighting also works well, but keep in mind that it has to be a warm shade. White hospital lights don't work for this. Next, get out your vinyl player, your phone, or even the TV and play some background music. Have a cup of tea while you're at it. Earl Grey is the best. Finally, I want you to get a scent for your room, and we'll talk a bit later about the Dark Academia scents, but if you have those 3 things, light, music, and scent, you have the perfect Dark Academia atmosphere. And after you've set up the ambience perfectly, why don't you start a book club? And be sure to invite the like button and serve it some of your finest Earl Grey tea. Secret number 1 is how to dress Dark Academia. And for this, you mainly have to think about 2 things. 1 is the color. What colors should a Dark Academia man wear? Well, picking the right colors is of a paramount importance. And what you should do is pick colors such as gray, brown, dark green, earth tones are key. You should stick to dark and to muted shades. Also, layering will be your friend. Don't over exaggerate. Never more than, let's say, 4 or 5 layers. But if you have a shirt, a vest, a jacket, and a coat, that's perfectly fine. And if you want to simplify your life even further, just pick one color and build your whole wardrobe around it. Secret number 2 is that patterns and fabrics are way more important than you think. I want you to stop being afraid of mixing patterns. If you have, for example, a jacket that's in a herringbone pattern, don't be afraid to also have a striped tie, for example. And when I say Dark Academia fabrics, what do I mean? Well, you have 5 main options. The first one, and my personal favorite, is flannel. It's the vest I'm wearing right now, and it's a more elegant fabric than, for example, tweed. Tweed is something you can wear, especially in the countryside, or if you're trying to build a more casual type of outfit. It's perfect for that old British type of look, and every man will look good in a tweed suit. Next up, we have cashmere, which is absolutely perfect for coats and for scarves, for example. And we also have velvet, which is by far the most luxurious material of them all, but also the most expensive. Lastly, we have corduroy, and in my opinion, corduroy is the most casual out of all of them. One last thing to mention is that you should not go easy on the leathers. And with leathers, I'm talking about suspenders, shoes, belts. I want you to wear as much leather as possible, and I want you to never mix your leathers. If you're wearing brown, wear brown all the way. If you're wearing black, wear black all the way. Secret number 3 is getting the Dark Academia essentials. And let's start off with jackets. First of all, we have a blazer. And I want you to get a single-breasted blazer. Now, you've often seen me wear double-breasted ones, and I love them, but they're not very Dark Academia. Because if you look at movies such as Dead Poets Society, everyone wears single-breasted. They're much more Ivy League than double ones. So that's what I would go for. We also have sports coats, and they're perfect, especially if they're unstructured. You want it to be a more casual type of jacket in comparison to a blazer, which is more formal. And the sports coat should also have certain patterns. It should not be plain. For example, herringbone, houndstooth, striped, it's your choice. But patterns and fabrics are important, and the fabric I would suggest tweed. Either tweed or wool, it's your choice. Suits are also a very integral part of Dark Academia, and I want you to go for dark suits especially. Dark gray, navy, and even dark brown are perfect choices. And as for the fabrics, I want you to wear heavy fabrics. That means no light wool, no cotton, no seersucker, and definitely no linen. And also, if you have the opportunity, go for a 3-piece suit, because you will also have the vest, and vests are very Dark Academia, that you can or cannot wear depending on the outfit you're building. You might also be inclined to go for a ticket pocket, and that's when you have 2 pockets on one side of the jacket. And historically, it was designed that way to store your tickets when you're going with the train, but it's still a nice to have detail in a Dark Academia suit. And finally, we have overcoats, which might just be the most important item you will wear, because most of the time you're gonna wear a Dark Academia outfit, you're gonna wear it outside. In October, November, it's very cold. So oftentimes the coat is what's gonna be seen most in your entire outfit. And for coats, the fabrics are absolutely key. I want you to go for cashmere if possible, but if not, wool is also perfectly fine. Moving on to the tops, we have shirts. And there's 3 shirts that you can definitely never go wrong with. First, you have the simple white shirt. the white poplin. It's what I'm wearing right now. It's great in more formal type of occasions, but they also work for more casual events if you're not wearing a French cuff. The French cuff will make it even more formal. Next up, we have a striped shirt. And historically speaking, this has been more of a lower class type of shirt, but nowadays everyone wears them. They're definitely more casual and something you should have. Lastly, we also have the Winchester shirt. And this is technically a business shirt, but you can wear it pretty much however you want. Next up, let's go over sweaters. You should have turtlenecks. They're very attractive, will keep you warm, and they look extremely well. I would avoid quarter zips because they're a more modern type of sweater because of the zipper. That's a modern invention. Also, knitted sweaters are very old money and very dark academia especially. And vests. Vests are perfect for when you're wearing a jacket because you do not really want your sleeve to come out under the jacket. Next up, your pants. Now, this is a little bit less complicated than before because all you need to go for is high-waisted. As long as you have creased high-waisted pants, pleats are optional, you cannot go wrong. And here I want to talk a bit about corduroy because it's something I've mentioned before. Corduroy is a more casual type of fabric and in my opinion looks amazing when you're trying to build an at-home outfit. If you have guests over, for example, corduroy pants will be great. It's not something I would necessarily wear outside, it's just not my style. But it's not a fashion faux pas, you can do it if you want. One thing you should never do, however, is wear jeans, because jeans are the total opposite of dark academia. I would also not wear shorts or chinos. I mean, who even wears shorts in the fall? But don't wear chinos either if you want to go for a more higher learning, academic type of vibe. Lastly, we have the shoes. And here, let's talk first about Oxfords versus Darbys. Oxfords are probably the most formal shoe you will ever wear. And if you're wearing a suit, Oxfords, in my opinion, are one of the best, if not only, choices you can make. Darbys, I'm not a big fan of, because instead of wearing Darbys, you could go for some monk straps. Monk straps are a bit more controversial. Not all men like them. I love them myself. Especially double monk straps. But what's even more dark academia than shoes, it's boots. And for boots, you basically have three choices. You can either go for Chelsea boots, which are my favorites, Chaka boots, I don't really have them, they're a bit more casual than Chelsea's, or you can go for dress boots, which are the most formal. Now, dress boots can either be Darbys or Oxfords, I would go for Oxfords once again. Suede is also fine, but I would stay very vigilant when it comes to it, because during fall, it tends to rain a lot, depending on where you are geographically as well, obviously. And suede really is very easily damaged when it rains, so I would really steer clear of it. It looks good, but it's not amazing for fall. And now, if you do not want to wear a suit, for example, you can easily replace a suit with just some pants and a coat. If you do not want to buy a suit, just buy some pants and a coat, and for dark academia, it will work splendidly. Secret number 4, which is a huge mistake, is skipping on accessories. I want you to get in as much leather as possible. The metal, in my opinion, doesn't matter as much. You can either go for gold or you can go for silver. Neither of them is more dark academia than the other. If you want to wear a tie, I would recommend club ties. Historically speaking, these have signified that you're part of a club, for example, a club in university. Knitted ties are also something you can look into. They're very casual. If you want to carry your laptop or your books, a leather bag, a leather briefcase especially, is the perfect choice. And suspenders are always an option, but if you are wearing suspenders, make sure that they're always button suspenders and never clip-ons. Clip-ons just basically show that you don't know what you're doing necessarily. As for watches, you always want to go for a dress watch with a leather strap. Never diver watches. Diver watches are very versatile. You can wear them all around the year, but for the dark academia look, they do not work. They simply do not work. Umbrellas, scarves, and hats are also amazing choices. Hats are something that not a lot of men are comfortable wearing, but if you pull them off, they will look amazing on you. And for hats, I do not want you to wear fedoras. Fedoras are not dark academia. Instead, wear newsboy hats. Sort of like this one. This is dark academia. It works well, and if you can pull it off, definitely go for it. Socks. The Argyle type of pattern is amazing for socks, something that every man should have. And also keep in mind other accessories, for example, fountain pens or notebooks. Because especially for dark academia, it's all about learning, right? It's all about studying, it's all about taking notes. And if you're taking notes, you want to do them in style. You want to have a fountain pen, I'm not saying you should go buy a Mont Blanc, but something like Parker is perfectly fine. Get a fountain pen and get a nice notebook and just write away, in style. Secret number 5 is smelling Dark Academia. Please, for the love of all that's good, do not wear Axe body spray and count on that for your smell. You want to smell like a man, and there are certain Dark Academia fragrances and certain Dark Academia tones that you will want to have. Now I want you to close your eyes and take a mental picture of Dark Academia. What do you see? You probably see an old library, and that's exactly the smells that you will want to have. Leather, old books, ink, wood, and smoke are all perfect choices. And I do have some recommendations. For example, Oud Wood by Tom Ford. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Ombre Leather, also by Tom Ford, or my personal favorite and the one I'm using, Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford. Basically anything with wood or leather or smoke or bookshelves, whatever, is perfect. You want something that smells dark, mysterious, and manly. Secret number 6 is soundtracking your life Dark Academia style. And you can do this when you're driving, when you're working, when you're studying, it doesn't matter. Always have some Dark Academia music in the background. What you can do is search those Dark Academia ambience type of playlists on YouTube. I will link my favorite one in the description. It's the one I'm always listening to when I want to get into a Dark Academia type of mood. But another great choice, especially if you want to get rid of the ads, is to go on Spotify. And I will also link a playlist that I have made with my favorite Dark Academia songs that you can always put in the background when you're studying or working or driving or whatever, literally. Secret number 7 is developing a thirst for knowledge. Now I want you to disconnect yourself as much as possible from your phone. Leave all technology behind. Instead of using a TV to play the music, why not buy a vinyl? Instead of using your laptop to write, why not buy a typewriter? This may be a bit of an exaggeration, but you understand what I mean. I want you to fall in love with literature.
We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race.
And that can mean either fiction or non-fiction. I do want you to read the classics, but if self-improvement books are more on your lane, that's also perfectly fine. I personally try to combine fiction with non-fiction as much as possible. Finding the proper time to read is paramount. For example, I always used to read during the night, before bed. But that wouldn't work because I'll be very sleepy and oftentimes I would fall asleep while reading. So what you could do, and what I now do, is every time you're done working, for example at 5 o'clock, or whenever you have an hour free during the day in which you want to relax a bit, just make yourself a cup of tea and enjoy a book for an hour. It's such a beautiful experience. And also something that you should do, and it will help you in your social life as well, is note down quotes that you simply adore. Get yourself a little pocket notebook, and every time you find a quote that you would like to use in your personal life, note it down.
Immaturity is outgrown, ignorance can be educated, and drunkenness sobered, but stupid lasts forever.
Secret number 8 is getting inspired from literature classics. And here I just mean setting up the right atmosphere when you're reading. And a book I want to recommend you is A Secret History. It's a very Dark Academia type of book. Also Dead Poet Society, amazing movie and also amazing book to read. Other movies you could watch as part of the Dark Academia aesthetic are Token, A Beautiful Mind, or even The Emperor's Club. And our final secret, secret number 9, is trying out Dark Academia hobbies. And by this I mean playing the piano, calligraphy, poetry, collecting vintage items, or even writing. Just find out what you're passionate about, maybe try a bit of each until you figure out what you like, and just stop being boring, because a man without any hobbies or any passions is a boring man. Find some things to do in your free time that you can be passionate about. Now, if you've made it this far, I want to give you an actionable bonus step. I want you to go on Pinterest right now, or any other app, for example Instagram, but I would advise Pinterest, and create a board. And every single day, or maybe whenever you want to get dressed to go somewhere, just search up Dark Academia outfits man, or sweater outfits man, fall outfits man, whatever you want, and save up a couple of pins. You will get so much inspiration and you will dress so much better if you get inspired from outfits that other people in the past have created. People with more experience than you, for example. I want you to comment down below what you think about Dark Academia, give this video a like and watch this video next.